Hello and welcome to the Amateur Football YouTube platform with myself, Tabriz, the host, and I have a very special guest with me, the founder of London Vets Ballerz, Con. Con, how
Hi,
you doing, sir?
hi. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I, I am well. I am well. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. And actually, before we even begin, please like, subscribe, share, do that. All the stuff which of course helps the channel. So Con, why did you start London Vets Ballers?
I didn't really start it. What happened was that we were with a league, the Garstons League, Veterans League, based up in Watford. We joined the league. They put me on the committee, and the COO who was running it, he decided to step down. So he asked me to take over, which I took over. We did have another name. And we had some other people involved, and I changed everything and the format of everything, and brought in Ras Williams involved in it as well, and we just called it London Vets Ballerz because we're based in London, and we started to do that, and then we run our own league. We we have a league cup where guest clubs can join in. They can come into our league cup for a small fee, and we've been doing our World Cup for 5 years now. We went for the pandemic, which has taken off, and that's just to advertise our league and everything like that, actually, which is growing bigger and bigger every year.
Well, amazing, and you like been in vets football for a numerous years. How have you seen vets football changed?
Well, I won't discuss my age. I'm in my
You're
forties, but
36.
yeah, yeah, or 39. But when when I was 16, when I used to look at the vets teams, I used to laugh because they used to be like pub teams, smoking, drinking at half time, and vets football has completely done a big U-turn in the sense that the players are a lot fitter. That sort of culture, you don't really see that much. The quality of footballs has improved. It's nice to see. Back in the day, there was no chance you'd see ex-pro or a semi-pro player on the same pitch. Maybe if it was a cup final, they might turn up for a team, but there was no chance of doing that. And no matter where you are in London, there is teams who's got ex-pros and semi-pros, which makes it even better. It makes it better for the club. It makes it better for the environment because okay, we not everyone would have made it as a pro standard, but to play on the same football pitch, either as a teammate or the opposition, with someone who's played pro at a pro level is a good thing, really.
Yeah,
And
very true.
seeing how they conduct themselves and everything like that. So I think that's a really good thing with Vets football. It's really taken up with social media as well. It's taken up, it's highlighted it. More people will come and watch, and we're just on the up and up, really.
Mm.
And I think the generation behind us, they're just like in 10, say 10, 15 years time, they're just going to bring it to another level, I believe.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, the
And
only problem we got with vets football at our age is some teams are social media friendly, some are not. But with that younger generation coming through, I expect a lot more advertising and things
yeah,
and
'cause-
promoting.
yeah, because like now, but like new players who are turning 35, 36 are probably still playing open age football, but when they do go into vets, they are going to be more social media savvy, and they will expect teams that they play for to be on socials, and if they're not, then they will either create a social media platform for them or move to teams that have a social media platform, right?
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's like where I started the World Cup first when we done it in 2017. It was Jamaica beat Grenada, the best out of three. It only started off like that, and then it's grown. Like in August, to have altogether the amount of teams I had there was just unbelievable. 36 teams, and um, we done the vets. Then someone said to me, "Look, can you do over 50?" So we created a category for that. And then my brother's running the open age, so it's got a lot bigger and bigger, you know. So it's great for networking as well, friendlies, and it's good family day out as well.
Mm. And what's the most enjoyable thing running London Vets Ballers?
The most enjoyable thing. Um, there's loads of things, but there's loads. Yeah, I tell you what. To be honest, some weeks you're just thinking, "Nah, this is my last. I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm not dealing with this anymore. That's it." But come back, come Monday and Tuesday, you're back to go again. There's always going to be ups and downs. Nothing's going to run smoothly. But yeah, it's just to get people out, mental health. It's fine. It's very rewarding as well, you know, and just giving back to community. I mean, I work voluntary. We the team I got, we don't earn nothing from it. So it's just very rewarding, you know.
Mm. And probably with like all of your experience in football in general, you can take that experience and let's you look how other leagues are being run and possibly take like the best parts and actually pull it into the London Vets, the London Vets, yeah, the London Vets Ballers, right?
Yeah, I don't really look at other leagues really. I don't know much about them. I know the teams. Some things got different formats and things like that, and where teams are based. I don't really look on other teams. I have to do trial and error, you know. There's nothing there for you. I know you can go on. The counties could help you so much. You are going to make a few mistakes, but it's just trial and error, you know. And the most important thing our league is the most important thing because I've noticed in the past where someone's running the league and they've had a team in the league, the chairman, you could ask the chairman, can we change that rule? And he just says no, and no one
Mm.
knows about it. So with what our league is, everyone has to be over 35. And but when we have an AGM, everyone votes. So therefore, once you're a member, you're allowed to come up with a suggestion, and it's voted there and then. You know, so which makes it a lot fairer actually. So sometimes you might ask for a rule to be changed, but okay, you might not get the vote this year, but you could try again next year. So we find it works doing it that way actually. So every
Mm.
year everyone gets to vote on it there and then. Obviously you've got to come to the AGM to get your register your vote, you know. So we've done that and everyone can speak freely. So I think a lot of leagues should run like that actually, because I do think in the past there is some teams out there where the chairman who's running the league is. I just think that sometimes you can ask for and no one knows about it, so he could say no because maybe it doesn't suit his team, and there's nothing you can do about it either. So I think if you vote every year, I just think that's the fairest way to go forward, really.
Mm. Okay, so I'm based in South, and South, you know, a lot of teams are making a lot of noise. I would love to be educated about other teams, that are not in South, in West, East, North. Please educate me. Who are the teams
Um,
I should be watching out for?
well, there is there is some sleeping giants with teams. Sometimes, as you know, when it's this sort of level of football, it's very hard to get the same amount of players out every week. Very hard. Even if you play every 2 weeks, very hard. But there is some really good teams out there, and you can have a look at the achievement of how they got to the county cup. Some of them get to the final, some of them get to the quarter final, some of them get to the semi, and it's a big achievement. I think it's a really big achievement when you can consider how big London is, look like graphic compared to the other cities, and how many teams are entering the competition. To get to quarterfinal, semi-final is a big achievement when you consider how many teams have entered it. that competition. There is Continental are very good. They're based in Edmonton. Very good team. Um, very young. They're a good team. Enfield Borough is a very good vets team. Rayners Lane, West Fulham, Maccabi, Tansley. Um, there is some really good teams out there. Really, Jamrock, good team. There is some really good teams out there, which will give you, and they could be anyone any given day, really.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned the impacts of social media and how clubs, especially vets clubs, should be embracing social media. I mean, could you elaborate more?
Yeah, definitely, because there's been a time or a period like Jamrock started off with one team. There's been times when I've advertised on Gumtree for a player. You tell them to come along, tell them to come training. Sometimes they do well in training. They're average. Some of them you think, oh my god, or some of them you think, where some of them you think, where the hell have you been? How come you're not playing football? And some people are very modest. That they played at a high level. They felt they've been watching social media and they fall in love back into the game. So I think social media is very, very important, because years ago it was either a friend of a friend, but sometimes some of these people, they live all over. People do go on social media. I think to go on social media is very, very important to to advertise your club and to get, like, maybe you need a goalkeeper, a defender. You don't know. It's hit and miss, really. Sometimes, like, you tell someone to come training, you look at them and you think, you just got to say to them, I don't think you're going to get much game, in a polite way. You're not going to get much game time.
Yeah, yeah,
Then there's some people you think, wow, where have you been? And you're doing everything to sign them. So,
mm,
yeah, so
yeah. And like for like me personally, and this is my own opinion. Well, yes, my own opinion, and I've actually seen it happen. Is that when teams are formed, vets or even open age, but let's kind of stick with vets. The, it's it's mostly friends that come together first, and then from there, of course, a team is formed, and it's really important because, of course, hey, you know, there's one thing that we can't reverse, and that's that's the days going forward. We will literally all get older, and what I found is teams who do not promote themselves on social media, or literally don't have that way, those teams are probably the most likely to fold, because as those players get older and they try and recruit their friends, they're approximately around the same age, and again, trying to attract like the 35s, the 36, you know um like you can mention that it's those people who are going to be, or those players who are literally going to have the social media nous about them. So it's really important for like teams, literally right now, who are competing at the highest level, have some sort of digital footprint.
yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, there's some friends I've known for a very long time, from when I was in high school, and it's a shame that we're falling out over football, because of, like, back in the day, everyone was calling for them, but nowadays you can see from the sidelines they're maybe in the head, but their legs can't do it.
Mhm.
When you've got a bunch of friends and that one or two's not gonna make your 16 in the squad for various reasons, for their playing ability, just they're not up to scratch, and then they get upset. And it is, that bit of it is very frustrating, because, like, you've got some good friends, take away football, but you're falling over football. You're the manager, and then you want your best 16, your squad, your best 16 to play, and maybe sometimes there's games you can't bring on people. It's very hard. I mean, obviously, that at our age, some people are parents, grandparents. You're giving up work. You're away from your family. You trapped 5 miles to go to a game, and unfortunately, me as the manager hasn't put you on, because that's what happens. But some people get the wrong idea by thinking they should come on, or they're just causing a rut because they should have come on to the pitch and they should get some minutes. It's a very hard thing to do, really, but it is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
If you're a substitute and I don't think you can make an impact, you just have to be on the bench.
And be a cheerleader.
Some people don't want to be a cheerleader. Yeah, some people don't want to be a cheerleader. Some people, you know, it's just it is a difficult, and just like, I don't play football anymore because I can't get around like I used to. I need to lose some weight. I admit that, but I can't get around what I used to. So I'm a hindrance on the team. I don't need you to tell me. I should know. I personally think you should know anyway. Some people are delusional. There is some really delusional people out there, really. Just like when you see people on X Factor, and they go up and go and sing, and everyone knows they can't sing, but they've gone up there and made themselves sing. I don't know why no one ain't said to them, you know what, you shouldn't go up there and go and sing. You can't sing. But there's some people out there that they still believe, and some of them played at a higher level than you, and they're just thinking, well, they're living in the past, you know. There's no point telling me what semi-pro teams or pro teams or what youth team you used to play. Let's talk about 2022 today, you know. Not in the past. Let's talk about today.
Very true. Actually, Con, what position did you play?
I used to play centre midfield, actually. Centre midfield, or up front, or centre back as I got older. You know.
Okay, so like you was literally straight down the spine. So literally everything had to go through you.
Yeah. Just the average player, really. But if I put a tackle on you, you know, so, yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So you spoke about the World Cup tournament that you created as well, and you know, again, I like know you well enough to know that you're a very modest man. You know, you don't really like to take the limelight. Hence the reason why not a lot of people will know who you are, as in visually. But you actually do a lot for like Vets football. What type of characteristics do you need to set up a league and also create a very successful football tournament?
Patience. We need some patience. Plan B. Here's the most frustrating thing. Okay, so last year in January, I put the team out. If you want to play, and teams said yes, yeah, no, yes, no. It was very difficult because it was on Father's Day. What happened was, it should have happened the week before. It's a long story anyway. It shouldn't have. I'll just quickly say, I was meant to go to a show. Then the show changed the dates on me, so it happened to be on Father's Day, which was I didn't think at the time. So it was on Father's Day, and some people saying it was Father's Day. It's Father's Day, but it was cool. Had teams work. Where's the frustrating bit? That some teams have paid their money, and then 2 days before, I haven't got enough team. I'm like, mate, well, I'll give you 6 months notice. What do you mean? You got 6 months notice. You paid your money, and now you're trying to pull out. So here's a little secret. What you do? See, trial and error. Right. So the over 35 teams, I had 20 teams in it. The best thing to do is just have 23 teams, and the three last teams who pay their money first come first up, say they're on standby. So if a team does pull out, you can use one of the standby teams. You're just gonna have to go that. You can't just. Well, I've been quiet in the past where it's 20 teams. I've had exactly 20, and then a team pulls out last minute. Then you're just like, you know, you're panicking, thinking, you know. then you're phoning up saying, Therese, could you get 10 man? It's free. Come and play football. Do you get what I mean? And it's just, you know, so that bit of it's very frustrating. That bit is frustrating. Because it's Vets football, everyone's behaviour is absolutely great, actually, considering the amount of players that are there. There's no offside. It's 9-a-side. The reason a lot of people say to me, why is it 9-a-side? It's 15 minutes a game. If it was 11 of 11, there'd be loads of nils, wouldn't there?
Yeah, 100%.
And you've got 15 minutes, no half time. So it works. If you've got 9-a-side on 11-a-side pitch, there's loads of space. It's up to you to work out your formation, how the players are going to set up, and just crack on with it. I think of all the games that were played, I think there was only one game that ended 0-0. You know, so there was goals in there. There was loads of goals, which what we want really. That's what we wanted. So, and then we done the over 50s. We're catering for them. My brother's dealing with Old Memorians. He's dealing with the open age. With the open age, we only keep it 8 teams. That's more by invite really, because unfortunately some of the open age teams might not be able to behave. So my brother will do a background check on them, check what kind of team they are, and then invite them. Because at the end of the day, it's a family event where you could bring your family. We're too old for all the handbag stuff.
Yeah, totally agree. And you kind of spoke about vetting teams and literally making sure that they're like the type of team that you want to be associated with. How kind of hard is it to literally get all of the teams to actually adhere by the rules that you set, and again, just kind of logistically making sure that everyone plays all of their games, and and of course still kind of making it a tournament, and just making sure that there's going to be teams who may get knocked out earlier to still stick around and still be a part of the event.
Well, I check team. Look, football's such a small world, isn't it? Really, at grassroots level. I mean, if something happens with social media as well, someone can film it. So it's very small. It's a small touch wood. Nothing. We've had no incidents of punch up and everything. And at our age as well, like your teammates will call you down as well. You don't need someone to hype it up, or you know. So at our age, it's embarrassing at our age. All right, we can all lose our temper, but as long as your teammates are talking to you and just calming you down, it should just settle down. Really, it's not something. It's not something we adore to. I've never had no problem with any teams. No, like nothing. We've had nothing. No, like I mean, I think and every year we've done the tournament. I think we've only had 2 sending offs, and you think how many games they're off that have been played. It's not a bad ratio, really.
Yeah,
Not a bad ratio.
not bad at all.
And
Any up and coming events?
right, so like the FA always do their Black History Month, and me and Ben, London South United, last year we just looked at it, and me and Ben was talking. We were just saying, like, we feel the FA don't do nothing for London Black History Month. They just put up a little this, and they don't do nothing for us. So me and Ben's come up with a concept as a sense that we're going to do this year. We've done South West. We've had Civil Service from West London. They played West Fulham, lost 6-1. Jamrock Steppers played West London Rams, which lost 3-0. So West London Rams will play West London Rams will play West Fulham on the 28th of this month in Collier's Wood at 7:45. Then in the South teams, we got Independent playing London South United. and the other group it's Catford v Mayfair. The winners of them two will meet one another, and on the actually Black History Month on the 30th of October in the afternoon, we'll have a game, we'll have a cup. We're doing this annually. Next year, the final will be in West London. I'm just going to do it just promote Black History Month football, actually. So that's what we're going to do, and just process. Maybe it'll get bigger and bigger because I have had some teams from North London say to me like, "Well, can we get involved?" So we can do that. Obviously, the games are going to be played on a Wednesday because we don't really want it to affect our league fixtures or our cup fixtures. So the games will be played midweek, either on a Wednesday or Tuesday, or whatever teams can agree with one another.
Okay, and this tournament is sponsored. Well, the amateur footballer is literally part of the. It's kind of it's part of a partnership and sponsors the Black History Month tournament. So yeah, I'm really proud and like honored to be part of this. So no, great stuff. Great stuff. And,
Yeah, so we're great. We're glad for you. We give them to Seacade. I mean, Craig at Seacade has done a hell of a lot for London Vets Ballerz. Craig from Seacade is Seacade's a charity, so all your old sports equipment or what you don't use anymore, or old football boots or anything old, what Craig would do is recycle it and give it to less unfortunate people. So CK's done a lot. Craig does all the graphics and everything for all the flyers. Craig does it all. So I mean, a big shout out for Craig. I'm not computer literate, but Craig is absolutely like 10 out of 10 for doing that. So he has really helped us.
Really. And if like anyone wants to know more about the London Vets Ballerz, how can they find the information?
We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and we're on TikTok as well, actually. So you can just send me a DM from there as well if you want to get involved. If you're not happy with your Vets League this year, you know who to come to.
Yeah, amazing. Con, honestly, thank you so much for like coming on, and again, I kind of want to say on that camera that Con's literally been one of my biggest supporters for like years now, and Con will call me, and like he's always got ideas, like he kind of wants, that there's so many opportunities that Con will always put my way, and like honestly, and like the strangest thing is that we've not met, like we've not physically met, but yeah, every time Con calls me, or like if I call like Con, like it's always about a like an opportunity just to level up, like it's kind of like it's not a idle chit chat. This is about just leveling up and whatnot. So I just want to kind of go on and record and say thank you to Con and London Vets Ballerz, for inspiring me to kind of continue and to really get involved in Masters football.
No, thank you. And as well, when we do our World Cup final next year, we'll have a VAO camera. So we got that, and we'll have it in the League Cup as well. So we're just getting progress, So it's just everything's just, we're crawling at the moment, but it's just progress. It's just that progress. So with the Black History Month, more and more teams, So we're like basically under the FA rules, I cannot go up to a team and say, "Do you want to join my league?" I'm not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that. But if I advertise on social media my league, then teams will come to me, which has happened. So that's what it's there for as well, to advertise the league as well.
Amazing. Cons, thank you like so much for like coming on, and yeah, we will hopefully, fingers crossed, physically actually meet up. So again, thank you so much.
Okay.
For your time, and and again, guys, please like, subscribe, share, do like all of the kind of great stuff, and yeah, we will see you guys real soon.